That's Pete Schrager, who said you just dismiss interceptions, so obviously it'll be a great year, too. Anybody who just dismisses interceptions for quarterbacks, especially those who tend to throw a bunch of interceptions as a rookie, it's easy to make them sound good. Pete Schrager, I'd also ask you, where's the juice coming from? That was an interesting comment, because I assume like he's just talking about the juice of reporters, people saying Drake Maye looks good,
yeah.
Reporters writing that he only missed 2 passes in a practice, blah, blah, blah.
The people who are tweeting the positives out of training camp?
Yeah, which is fine.
Sure.
I mean, the stats need to be taken with a grain of salt, because there's always that, well, he was going to be sacked on that play, or, the Pop Douglas play that I loved from the other day.
Yeah.
Loved.
Sure.
Not a sustainable part of the Patriots offense.
Of course not.
If you decide you're going to win games by Drake Maye rolling right, back foot, throwing 50 yards down air to Pop Douglas, then this is like a 3-win football team again.
Yeah, he was top 5 in the league in terms of number of times that he scrambled last year, and they had one of the worst offenses in football.
They're going to be good
true.
If they can, I don't know, run a screen pass to Travion Henderson and he picks up 14 yards. And then they can come back with a slant to Stephon Diggs. And today it doesn't go through his hands, but he catches it. Or Kyle Williams runs one of those little 8-yard turnarounds and he catches it.
Right.
That's where they're going to be good.
And then the quarterback delivers the ball to his team instead of the other team.
Correct.
Right. And because the offensive line gave him time to properly go through his progression to make the throw.
What kind of juice you squeeze in Pete Schrager on the offensive line? What have you heard about Morgan Moses? Because I don't know what you've heard. I can only tell you what I've seen. And I've seen an old, slow guy who's getting beat like a rented mule by people named Harold Landry and Le'Veon Chase on the quarterback.
Yeah, juice goes pretty easily through a sieve, right? Because that's kind of what I've heard you're watching so far.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah. It's concerning.
So,
and
that continues to meet the eye test.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Today at right tackle, Morgan Moses and DeMontre Jacobs. You can say who, or you can say, no, I know who that is, and I don't like him. There's no liking that guy. You either don't know who he is, or you don't think he's very good. Those are the two options.
Yeah.
The offensive line does not look good. Will Campbell is a work in progress. I've seen good and bad from him. You'll see some clips out there one-on-one with Keon White, doing this, doing that. I've seen some blown assignments where it seemed like he didn't know, or maybe it was the quarterback that screwed up the protection. Whatever. Yeah. Guys kind of coming untouched. Different things. I still have strong hopes that Will Campbell can be good. I'm real close to saying Morgan Moses is just old and not very good anymore.
It kind of seems like they're starting to do that as well. You look at the way that the first and second team rotations are playing out these first few weeks, and I know we're 5 days into this, so do with it what you will.
1 day of pads, too.
Right, exactly. But Jared Wilson has now taken reps at all 3 interior spots, so that's a guy who's already working his way into it. And I saw that Marcus Bryant, this kid that they took in the 7th round,
I just looked up his name because in my head I said, who was the 52 guy that was at left tackle?
Yeah.
And Marcus Bryant.
Yeah, I saw that. He's already working his way in more so than guys that have considerably more snaps than him at the NFL level.
You don't want to hear this, Patriots fans, but you need to hope that Vidarian Lowe gets healthy, because Vidarian Lowe is going to play for this football team. And I know you hate him, and I know he stunk, and he was this, and he was penalties, and he was that, and he was getting beat, and all those things.
Yeah.
This offensive line is a major Jared Wilson. Everybody's in love with Jared Wilson, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The only problem with Jared Wilson is sometimes, or pretty much every practice when he's at center, the ball ends up on the ground. It doesn't end up where the quarterback needs it, which would be in the quarterback's hands.
Okay, so maybe him taking snaps at all 3 spots in the interior isn't because they think he's versatile. They just think he may not be a center.
There could be some truth to that.
So you have a left tackle who might not be a left tackle and could be a left guard, and a center who may not be a center and could be a guard.
And a right tackle who maybe should be looking into coaching and becoming an offensive line coach because he can mentor Will Campbell more than he can block Harold Landry and Le'Veon Chase on. This offensive line is somehow as much a concern to me, or more so than it's been in recent years. It really is. And I think some of it is because of the investment and the hope. You use the 4th pick in the draft. You got to hit one of these someday. And if we remember, we had all these hopes along the way. Ronnie Stanley, they offered him a contract, or all these other various high-priced offensive linemen they offered contracts to. Come to find out, they don't get any of them, which I don't know if then that forced them into taking Will Campbell. If they draft Ronnie Stanley, let's do a little revisionist. I mean, if they sign Ronnie Stanley, they're not taking Will Campbell at 4 overall.
I certainly don't think so.
They're going in a different direction, and whether that's a trade, whether that's a player, I don't know. But they made a lot of...
Take Ashton Genty there?
Maybe, whatever, Ashton Genty. But then you wouldn't have Travion Henderson, who's going to be the best running back in the world, I've heard.
Fair enough.
But this offensive line was the target to be fixed, both financially and draft-wise, and I don't feel great about it. And they're sitting on $60 million in cap space, and I got to use the same damn argument that I used against Craig Breslow.
Yep.
Craig Breslow, I don't want to hear Joe Ryan didn't get traded. I want to hear Joe Ryan was traded to the Boston Red Sox because the Boston Red Sox overpaid. They had to throw in a pitcher. They had to throw in a whatever to get Joe Ryan. And now Joe Ryan is your number 2 starter behind Garrett Crochet, and you are a legit World Series contender.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to hold them to that standard, I can't say, well, Ronnie Stanley didn't leave, so make him leave. Whatever you offered, add 25% to it. You're sitting on $60 million of cap space. You have a hopeful offseason. The MVP is the coach. There's a vibe. There's a culture. There's a young quarterback that everybody thinks is the next great superstar. Guess what? It all goes down the crapper. Time now. I got to find my read here. What did I do with it? For circling the drains and league leaders.
Let me also say, while you find that it's not even like you just weren't spending money. You also, in the same offseason, handed out the biggest contract in football to Milton Williams.
Yeah, but you still have money.
I know.
You were in the spending mode.
This is to your point. You don't even have the excuse that you were pinching pennies like has been used in past years.
Time now for our league leaders and who's circling the drain, presented by Drains by James. Drains by James is Eastern Mass's leader in residential and commercial drain cleaning and pipelining at drainsbyjames.com. At Drains by James, they give a poop about your pipes. If the Patriots gave a poop
nailed it
about Drake Maye, then there would be better offensive linemen in front of him. That's the part I'm starting to get to.
Yes.
I am concerned as a Drake Maye fan, as a guy that wanted Drake Maye, that talked about Drake Maye as the guy from day one. I'm worried that he is going to be stunted. His growth will be nonlinear or development, whatever you.
I don't know why you keep looking at me. I didn't say that.
Yeah, but it's your people, your quantitative analysis
people.
Yeah, but
that's just talk. I actually give you substance.
We all know that in the NFL, history shows that if you don't go to the playoffs in the first 2 years, you're really not a franchise quarterback. You're not going to be one of the great quarterbacks in the league. He didn't go last year. Drake Maye needs to go to the playoffs. I don't think it's Drake Maye that's going to keep them from going to the playoffs. This offensive line is concerning to me. This offensive line could have the season circling the drain. And if they want to be among the league leaders, I don't know how they're going to do it. A lot of quick throws, screens, run plays. You got to take the line out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really it's bizarre because they tried to build their offensive line in 2 different ways. Like we talked about how, predominantly in free agency that they built on defense. They also added multiple different pieces of varying levels of skill, and then they spent 3 of their draft picks on offensive linemen, and none of them
got a left tackle whose
working.
Arms are too short, might not be able to block. You got a center who can't snap, and you got a guy taking reps at left tackle as a young player that you don't want. And then the text line tells us, and I'm going to take the word for it. I love the text line.
No, I saw the same report, though.
Okay.
Yep.
The 860, all reports are Josh Simmons, who you heard about first here on WEEI Afternoons when Mike Giardi randomly said he was like his favorite player in the draft.
That was like the bell of the ball for him.
It was very weird.
For sure.
Looks great in KC camp. Campbell pick looks worse if he's a bust. Yeah, if Josh Simmons is a star and Campbell is sort of a bust here, that is going to look even worse because you could have gone a different direction, done it differently, but you could have spent the money. That's what I'll go back to, and I'm going to be consistent. Red Sox, you need to spend your assets to go get Joe Ryan or Mason Miller or some impact guy. Patriots, were you a little too tight with the purse strings? And I don't know if that's a Kraft concern. I don't know if that's an Elliott Wolf concern. I don't know if that's a Mike Vrabel concern or if I blame the collaborative, the word that got very popular at the end of the Bill Belichick era here in New England. But your offensive line does not look markedly better to me.
No.
And if it's not, that could derail any hope this team has this. Forget about our discussion about Christian Gonzalez. It's not great that he's dinged up early.
Right.
But if the line sucks, even Christian Gonzalez playing at an elite level won't matter.
Right.
If your quarterback is under duress, if you can't run the ball because you can't block, and you can't throw the ball because you can't block, guess what you're going to do? Circle the drains and lose a lot of football games.
And have your quarterback on his ass a lot. And it is really that simple because every offensive headline that we've talked about and spent segments upon segments talking about, Stephon Diggs, is he going to have his head screwed on straight and be able to bounce? Doesn't matter if he can't get the ball because his quarterback doesn't have time. Is Drake Maye going to take that, what did he say, huge second-year step that Peter Schrager, him and his objectivity are saying? Doesn't matter, and you won't be able to see it because you won't have time to throw. Travion Henderson, is he your new running back one? Is he going to be an option in the pass game? Certainly probably won't matter because he won't have any time before he gets his lunch handed to him. So every single element that goes with the Patriots being, again, not a league leader, somewhere between a league leader and circling the drain as an offense, right? You need them to take a step forward, but with the way their defense is built, I don't need you to be dominant on the offensive end. all of that stops short if you can't get any level of protection around Drake.
I will say, we all think they're going to be a good screen team. I saw a nice tight end screen today to Hunter Henry in the red zone. It was well blocked, well timed. He picked up like 8-9 yards, might have busted across the goal line for a touchdown. They should be a good screen team because, A, Josh likes to do it.
Yep.
And B, you're selling the pass rush on getting after the quarterback. They're going to be getting after the quarterback so much that when you let them go by to run a screen, they're probably going to believe it, like that they beat you that easily. So they should be a good screen team.